So welcome to those of you that are already here. So I'm just gonna give the others about 5 minutes to get here, okay? So in the meantime, we're just gonna have some waiting music, you know? So, yes.
Oh, stop. What happened? We're not hearing anything, Marianne.
Oh, you're not hearing it?
Nope.
Are you hearing it now?
Yeah, hear it now. Stop it. Oh. Marianne, we can start now.
Okay, well, I hope you guys enjoyed the waiting music.
All right, so good night, everyone, and thank you for those who are here. Thank you for joining us. And tonight, welcome to our Mental TLC presentation. So my name is Dominique Walters.
And I'm Marianne McCallum.
And we're your hosts for tonight. Now, what is Mental TLC? Marianne?
All right. So Mental TLC is a mental health campaign that was proposed and executed by myself and Dominique. And our target are young adults who may be experiencing mental health challenges due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, our message, the Mental TLC campaign's message is to encourage young adults to engage in positive coping mechanisms, as well as to give them a positive outlook on life during COVID, and that there is a life during COVID, right? So, Dominique, off to you.
Okay, so now according to the mayoclinic.org, mental health is defined as a wide range of mental health conditions, which are disorders that affect our mood, thinking, and our behavior. Now, these include things like depression, anxiety disorders, schizophrenia, eating disorders, and addictive behaviors. Now, for us as young persons, even before the coronavirus hit, we've been there, according to the Business Insider, young persons have been experiencing mental health challenges even before Corona. And so some of the main mental health challenges that our youth face are just common depression, general anxiety, and self-harm tendencies, and some persons develop some eating disorders, right? So, and because of these things, now in Corona, that was before Corona, now in Corona it's just only heightened, right? And so the things that may cause mental health disorders are like unemployment. Persons have been losing their jobs since Corona, school stress, and just, we're a social kind of generation. So, the isolation, being cooped up at home all the time. Now I'm gonna hand over to Marianne to get some more into that.
All right, so just like Dominique said, some of the things that our young adults are experiencing are, school stress, as well as unemployment due to the COVID-19 pandemic, and even, isolation. Now, where isolation is concerned, we are social beings. So, we're used to socializing on an everyday basis, whether it's from work or school. And with the whole isolation thing now, there comes loneliness. And it's kind of, it's difficult when you're so used to being social, but now you're cooped up at home and you can't really get that connection, that face-to-face connection that you're so used to. So the whole isolation thing can lead to the depressive, to feelings of depression, can also lead to anxiety, social anxiety, I should say. And then where unemployment is concerned, that a lot of persons unfortunately lost their jobs due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Um, so they were not able to, have a steady income like that they had before. And when you don't have a steady income, you're just wondering, okay, so how are my bills going to get paid? How am I going to pay JPS? How am I going to pay water commission? Them don't care if you lose my job. So, you have these bills coming in. Probably if you just finished university too, you probably have student loans to pay back. SLB not blinking on you, all of these things. So you're wondering, oh well, what is going to happen now? You're even wondering about if you're gonna get a next job, because the fact that your last job, and then, oh, am I really going to get a next job? So all of these things can lead to depression, it can lead to anxiety, and it can also lead to uncertainty, right? And then you also have uncertainty with university students. And when I say university students, I'm specifically speaking to final year students, because these are students who them have it in their mind, them plan and say, okay, I'm finishing school now, I'm gonna get like a piece of degree, can get a job, can start my life, my career, all of those things. And now Corona come and you're just like, oh well, what do we do now? We're gonna be at home in the chair. Because like, who's gonna be hiring? You don't know if you're gonna get a job. And then you do have some programs that require you to do an internship, right? You're uncertain about that internship, if it's gonna happen. And sometimes these internships are core courses that you need to graduate. So these are all of the things that can cause persons to have depression, to have anxiety, to have feelings of uncertainty, as well as the loneliness in terms of isolation and not being able to go out and socialize like before, like your parties and little get-togethers, right? So that's a few things.
So now we're going to recommend some coping mechanisms. And as where the TLC in Mental TLC stands for talk, learn, and care. Right. So we're just going to cover those first. So the first thing is talk to someone. Right. This may be your friend, your parents, your siblings, adult that you trust, or even if you know somebody who is in the medical field or psychology that could help you. Because when you talk to someone, it makes you feel like the pressures and the things that you're going through is not just you. You can talk to somebody, make you feel a little more relieved that you feel like you can actually talk to someone about and they can listen to you. Because sometimes some people just need a listening ear to get the problems that they have off their chest, so they don't feel like it's just them alone dealing with these kind of things, right? And then some persons might recommend you to you definitely talk to someone and let people know that you're going through something.
Um, are we here?
So it's the technical difficulties.
We're glad that you're back. Please
Right.
continue.
Um, so I was saying, just talk to someone so they will know. So somebody can offer a way to help you, because if you don't talk to anybody and tell them that you have mental health issues, nobody's gonna know and nobody can help you, right? So then you have learn a new skill. Now, learn a new skill, it doesn't mean that you have to all go and decide you're going to pick up woodworking today for the rest of your life. Not necessarily, right? So, you can learn, you can do courses online. You have Coursera courses. Some of them are free, and you can go and learn something. If you decide you want to learn, oh, I want to be the best graphic designer in the world, go and learn graphics online. They have different courses, accredited courses that you can learn, and you can up your resume and that kind of thing. Or you could do some internships that people might be offering right now, like this internship that we're a part of, the Live Well Jamaica internship. And so you could be a part of those kind of things, so you can learn things that you're interested in. And then you have, if you were the type of person that you wanted to learn to play music, right? You can learn. There's a lot of things that can teach you. You can teach yourself lots of things on YouTube, right? There's videos on just about anything you can think of, right? So learn some new skills, and then you have the care for your body part. Um, Caring for your body includes sleeping better, getting better sleeping time, the 8 hours. You don't want just 5 hours and then you're up, the 8 hours. You can work, do some exercise, and you need to eat
Yes.
healthy and that. So Marianne, you want to?
Right. Okay. So just like Dominique said, getting the adequate amount of sleep, ensuring that you have a proper diet. Did you also say exercise?
Yes, I did.
Right,
Yes.
exercise. Okay, these things are so important because it helps with your mood, and it just helps with the overall feeling that you have, which is a good feeling, of course. I
Yes.
want to include that, that it is so important also to engage in, in terms of caring for
Communicate.
your body. Right. Like deep breathing, for example, to help you relax. So if
Mhm.
you go on helpguide.org, they actually tell you how you can practice deep breathing. So go and check that out. Also, you can meditate. Meditating is good. I don't know how many of us here might meditate, but if you do, then that's great. Continue doing that. And then you
Mhm.
also can, if you're a spiritual person, you can send up your prayers, hun.
Your closest partner to help you guide you through this kind
Right.
of time,
These are just
right?
ways to care for your body and care for your mental, because we're such a crazy time, and we just have to do all the things that we possibly can to ensure that we are okay. Okay? Focus on you, yourself, and Dominique, over to you.
Okay, so those are just some of the ways that we think that persons can cope with their mental health challenges. Now I'm going to go over to our panelists all here. Thank you guys for joining us. So, firstly, we have Miss Michelle Hodges, licensed counseling psychologist. Then we have Mr. Julian Rampalton, um,
Yeah.
a personal trainer and fitness YouTuber. And then we have Miss Denise Walters, university lecturer and nurse educator. So welcome to all our panelists for joining. And thank you
Thank
for
you for
joining us.
having me.
Right. So I'm going to go into the first. Repeat. Sorry.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we're hearing
Oh
you,
yes, I'm hearing you.
All right. Awesome. Awesome. Awesome.
Dominique.
Okay. Right. So I'm going to go in the first question to get us started, and then after we ask our panelists some questions, then those who are on, you, if you feel like you want to ask some questions, that would be okay too. Right. So my first question are, you are a university lecturer, and you have some students who are in our target audience, which is the 21 to 31, the millennials and the Gen Z, right? What are the ways that COVID has affected them? You think COVID has affected their mental health, and what is their behavior like? Is it different from how it was before than how it is now? Miss Walters?
It's muted.
Your mic is muted.
Sorry, I'm sorry about that.
Right.
Yes, especially Marianne mentioned our fourth years. Those are the students that at the university have been really greatly affected, because this is their final year. And you know, everybody at this time anxious to finish studying so that they can go on to, you know, getting a job, paying back, as you said, those school loans and so on. So because of the nature of our students, they are nursing students, a lot of their fourth year, when they're doing fourth year, part of their studies the course requires them to have clinicals or practicums. And so because everything kind of stopped suddenly, we had to go directly online. So that was a challenge. There are some who really don't have the data to keep up with, you know, the studies, although we try our best. We print what we can print and, you know, find other ways and means of getting the students the information. But what was greatly affected was like their clinical, so to be going in the hospitals to complete this. And because of COVID, that kind of, you know, came to a standstill until we figured it out. And remember now, COVID is very, it's a problem in terms of the amount of persons who are infected, and now the students now had to get PPE. So for a little while, we had a little challenge. As well as some of our students, they're also working, and a lot of them have lost jobs. Mm-hmm. And so because they have lost jobs and so on, it really is a challenge. So you're trying to do your studies, but you're worrying about where are you going to get the money from to pay your university fees. Mm-hmm. There are things that they have to purchase as a part of, you know, completing their studies and so on. And so, yes, it really is a challenge. We try, as we say, as for tutors, we really try the best that we can to help them. But, you know, each student's situation is different. It's not only affecting them at school, but remember what's happening at home. Mommy or daddy would probably be able to help out with the lunch money and so on. So all of that is not happening for quite a few of the students. So it really is a challenge.
Yes, that is true.
Okay, thank you so much, Miss Walters, for that. So, Miss Hodges, based on what Miss Walters said, can you give us some solutions to problems or issues like these, based on what she said, and also on like the general topic of mental health challenges that our young adults may be experiencing during this time?
Okay, good night, everyone. But thanks for having me. All right, it's natural for persons to feel either stressed or depressed or anxious during a pandemic, as was said earlier. And for the students or persons in this age group, you'll find that there's also a fear of death, a fear of catching the disease, and, you know, for themselves and also their loved ones. Where the financial aspect is concerned, now that is a challenge that there is no solution to that. It's not like we can say to you, as was said, I think earlier by Dominique, maybe you can have a little skill, maybe do some things on the side to earn an income. But what is good for you is to work on the things that you can change, like your mental health, your emotional stability, Those things you can work on, your outlook on life. We cannot change the fact that there is a pandemic. We cannot do anything to bring it to a closure. We can follow the guidelines, but we also have to keep ourselves healthy. Now, healthy might mean when you're depressed, we don't wear dark color clothes. Simple things. You don't wear dark color clothes on the top. You wear light colored clothes in that time period. You go outside, you ensure that you get sun every day. So maybe just every 2 or 4 hours, you go outside and you enjoy the sunshine, and that also helps. I said the heat is helpful. It is good also when you wake up in the morning to open your homes so that light can come in. Depression is real. And most times, if we can't control our thoughts, because our thoughts control our behavior and how we are going to feel. So if we don't control the thoughts and we focus on the negative things, we also have to focus on what is positive in this time period. Once you have life, there's still hope and there's another chance, right? So as I said previously, when we work on things that we can change, the exercise that you guys spoke about is very good. So mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, as you said, you know, for persons who have had the disease or persons who are, you know, scared, some persons will tell you that when they focus on the spiritual aspect and know that God is in control and He will see them through, that brings comfort also. So there are different things that you can do mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. Physically, it's the taking care of your body. Mentally, it would help with your thought process. Think positive thoughts. Do not be fearful. This must pass, you know. This is not the first pandemic. It might be the first pandemic in our lifetime and anybody who is alive lifetime. But there have been history of pandemics and they have passed. So this must pass at some time. So we have to try and ride out the storm. Where the students are concerned with the fact that everybody was looking forward to graduating and you know, finishing up and earning an income. Unfortunately, but fortunately, change always happens. And we cannot be as rigid. We have to learn to be flexible. That even when you have a plan A and it doesn't work out, there will be another plan. So yes, we maybe won't be able to graduate this year, or things have changed. But yes, we're looking at the fact that we now have ways. They have the PPE uniform. They have a little better ways to. I mean, it's not the first month when we were more. Not that we have changed. Knowledge have been so great, but at least at the beginning, when we heard the first person who had the COVID, there was a frenzy. Now we are hearing that, you know, not everybody will get sick. And there are certain things that we can do to help us along the way. So we're just saying to you at this point in time, even though things have changed, and as long as we live, there will be changes. It's how we're going to ride out this storm. And this too shall pass. And that's what we need to focus on, that this too shall pass. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but it will pass.
Thank you so much, Ms. Hodges.
Thank you so much for all of that information that we're sure is helpful for other persons. Now we'll move on to Mr. Rampalton.
Yes.
As a personal trainer, right, what kind of things would you recommend to some persons to care for their body, since we're trying to get persons to, you know, make their body feel a little better? You know, a lot of us might not be so into the gym thing all the time. So like, what are the beginner kind of ways that will help us?
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you guys for having me. And as you asked me that question, I was recalling what you were saying, Dominique, about coping mechanisms. Now, there are two specific things that I think work more than anything else, and it's the deep breathing or the meditation and like at home body weight exercises. I think those two key things work more than anything else, because, and it doesn't have to be like a body weight exercise per se, like a workout regime. Like it can be physical activity that you enjoy personally, because some people like to dance, some people like bachata, some people like whatever physical activity it is. No, the physical activity really and truly can be anything that you personally like and enjoy, which I think would definitely help you to combat the whole mental health issue. Because given the fact that it's COVID, things are just so different. Like, it's not the same process anymore every day. It's not like get up, go to work, eat lunch, come back, or go to school, or whatever the situation is. So, like with everything else that requires an adjustment, working out and prioritizing your mental health and your physical body and appearance is no different. So, I think, honestly, yeah, just try to ensure that you find ways and means to take care of your body, whether it's to try and eat healthier and try to not binge eat, because I understand that there are a lot of people, especially people that I know and I've trained with, like, because of the entire situation, it's like their diet is going out of whack, they're not following their regime. Things are just, it's really hard to follow what they're used to follow, and it's really hard to monitor their diet, their weight, and especially given the fact that a lot of people are out of jobs. Like, I'm out of a job and, like, well, I'm not saying me, I'm saying, for example, I'm out of a job, like, I can't even think about exercise. Like, all is on my mind is to try and get back in a job where I can get steady income and so things can go back normal again. But like with everything else, as I've said before, it requires some amount of adaptation. So when it comes to taking care of your body, if you know that you normally go to the gym and you can't afford to go to the gym anymore, then you just adapt and stay home and try to do what express fitness calls workings. So it can be a body weight exercises, or you're dancing, or whatever physical activity that you would like to do in the comfort of your own home. And as I said, in addition to that, what I think and what I find to be very helpful is meditation and deep breathing, because these things I have practiced and I know definitely they do affect how you feel internally about yourself and your entire outlook on life and all those things. So I do recommend meditation and deep breathing. So those would be my two key things that I think could definitely help someone to curb their mood and keep them more on the positive side of life, because this is, I think, is fairly new to pretty much everybody. So I think if you can try and just implement these things, then you'll be on your way over to the more positive side of things.
All right, thank you so much. All right.
Alrighty.
Does anybody here have any questions to ask our panelists? Please feel free to ask them. So it's time to unmute your mics. Yeah?
Yes, please.
Oh, wait. There's a question.
A question.
Wait. Somebody's asking in the chat. Miss De Freitas is asking, can we get more clarification on what meditation is?
Meditation?
Yes.
Can we get more clarification on right?
Meditation. All right. So meditation, how I understand it is, initially, I would recommend someone to do it early in the morning where it's very quiet, right? No interruptions, just it's about remaining calm and monitoring your breathing pattern. And you'd like to maintain that for about a minute to about 3 minutes. And with time, you'll be able to meditate for a lot longer. But if you're just starting and you're really not accustomed to doing it, the three things I think you need to keep in mind is you need to monitor your breathing pattern. So you need to ensure that your breathing pattern is on the same, I'd say, how do I say this? Just let it remain at the same pattern, if that makes sense. You don't want to take too many deep breaths and stuff like that. So keep it moderate, right? Ensure that you're focused on, this is going to be very difficult to understand, but I need you to focus on absolutely nothing. So try your best to not think about anything specifically. Yeah, clear your mind and ensure that you're in a quiet environment, because when you're in a quiet environment, you're a lot less distracted. So I think initially, if you're just starting and you've never meditated before, trying to practice those three things would definitely, you'll be on your way to mastering it.
Okay, thank you so much. Miss De Freitas, did that help?
I hope.
Miss De Freitas? I don't know if she's hearing. Okay.
Yes, I am.
Oh,
I am.
Oh,
I am hearing, and yes, that certainly helped.
okay, great.
Okay.
All right, good,
Anybody else have any
good, good.
questions? I saw that Mr. Orlando Brown had his mic open, ready to ask a question.
No, I was really going to ask what Julian was saying to the whole deep breathing and meditation is that for persons who will not be able to find their center or their core with this method, what are some
Yeah.
other active routes that they can take to actually not feel this overwhelming feeling? Because not everybody will say, okay, I'm going to deep breathe and I'm going to do meditation and I'll feel okay. It's not the normal Jamaican thing to do, right? So what
Well,
is
yes, that's
something
true.
that is more typically suited for someone who is always up and about in terms of still
Always.
feeling active?
So is it that you want to know how you can meditate while remaining active?
No, I was asking if there's an alternative suggestion
Oh,
for those who
oh,
cannot
so,
find meditation or deep
oh,
breathing
okay.
to be that go-to.
Okay, as I was saying earlier, you could find some amount of physical activity that you actually enjoy because I know there are people, especially in Jamaica, people in Jamaica love to dance. So I would recommend like you can put away like 45 minutes, like you set aside that time to just do that. If that's your kind of thing, if you enjoy dancing, but as I said before, it doesn't necessarily have to be dancing. It can be any physical exercise that you prefer to do, and you just set aside that time at whichever available time you have throughout the day, because as we know, people time like their shifts and all that thing. It's really it's crazy because if you're working a night shift, you probably want to do it either early in the day or whenever it is that you're available to do so. So I'd say if it's not a deep breathing, meditating kind of thing, then keep it more physical. Keep it to the end of exercise and well, as I know Jamaicans up to the dance. So I think that would be my recommendation. That I think helps a lot.
Thank
was
you.
that helpful for you, Orlando?
Yes, thank you.
Okay,
All right,
great.
no problem.
Anybody else with the questions?
Um,
All right.
Jalissa saying,
I
is
have a
it
question.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Sean.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Okay. So I've been listening, right? And yes, I've tried some of the different methods that you guys mentioned before in the chat as a way to calm and ease the anxiety and the stress, right? But say for example, I'm normally an outdoorsy kind of person, right? But the whole pandemic can't be like that, right? So I've tried picked up backyard farming, a little thing, and exercising. But as of late, it is very rainy, so you can't be as outside as you used to be, and I get enjoyment from just being outdoor, like as I said before, in nature. So what are methods that you could suggest, right? Or something to just remain active. I know you mentioned dancing just now, but I have two left feet, right? So,
So no,
that,
so
that's
no, I understand.
so
I
I'm
understand
I
where
still
think
you're coming
asking
from.
for others. Yeah.
I think maybe Miss Hodges would be a good person to answer this kind of question for you, Sean.
Okay.
Miss Hodges, do you have any recommendations for Sean?
Okay, Sean. If it is a case that you normally enjoy going outside to and being active, whether doing a little farming and so, even though it's raining, yes, you can still go. You can look at the grass. You don't have to be out there physically in the rain. You can go for a ride. You can drive to the country. If you do, you drive. Sorry. Well, that is if you have a car. But you
Yeah,
still
I don't.
can move outside, and there are still things that you can do outside, even though it is raining. And as I said to you before, just sitting and looking at the grass can be very therapeutic. You don't have to physically be out there digging up something for it to be therapeutic. You can go somewhere where you sit by yourself in a comfortable place and you just try and relax. So in a place that is dry and just relax. You know, that helps. I think somebody wrote something about mental health. I'm not sure the chat said.
In the chat, Melissa was saying that she listens to a mantra motivational audio while they meditate. And Ashley was saying that we can make meditation a norm, which is true. And Mr. Freitas was asking how to identify someone who is having a mental health issue and how to help. How can someone help?
All right. There are certain signs. If somebody is depressed, you'll find that they tend to be, that the behavior will change. They might become very withdrawn. They might stay in the room longer. They might start wearing clothes that more gothic, you know, more darker clothes. You might find that they're eating more or eating less. You'll find that the things that they normally enjoy, they no longer enjoy. For some persons, that is depression. So that is a sign that the person is depressed. Persons can be depressed on a short-term basis. But if you find that it is happening like 2 weeks or so straight, then that says that you need to get external help and help from a professional. The other thing is that what I've found a lot is that persons are having anxiety attack. Now, anxiety attack is when you're not being able to breathe properly. And for some persons, they feel like they're having a heart attack. Now, the methods that Julian, that's Juju?
Yes,
Right.
yes.
The
Yes,
methods
yes.
that he spoke
Julian.
about deep breathing is excellent. So sometimes if you find that it has happened to you before and you learn some techniques on how to breathe and to breathe in a certain rhythm, it can calm you. If you find that you're having the panic attacks on a regular basis, then you have to see a medical doctor. So that's how you help somebody. You know, have conversation with them first, find out what the issues are. If it is a case that the person is lonely, maybe you can call them some more. You know, don't just call somebody, video chat them. So when they see a face, it helps because they can feel like they're connected to the person at that point in time. So we're all social beings, and when those things, when you have that lack of, you might feel lonely or isolated. So hear what the person is saying is happening to them. Seek help. Talk therapy is very good. So you can try and talk to the person, try and find out, you know, how can you help, what kind of assistance is necessary. And if the person is in a state too long, then it's a medical doctor that you have to get, because the physical always comes before the mental. So if the person is depressed and it has been over a period of time, that person has to see a medical doctor or possibly a psychiatrist. And then afterwards, a counselor will help to help them to kind of stabilize and get a grip with where the emotional aspect is concerned.
Right. Was that helpful, Mr. Freitas?
Yes, that was very helpful.
Okay.
Definitely.
Right. So we had someone that had their hand up, Patricia Masters. Do you have a question?
Just a follow-up question. After identifying the signs, can you recommend any agencies, any government agencies that we could go to for help?
Okay. Government, you said?
Yes.
All right. I think there is a and I don't know the number, but I know that I think if you maybe look on Jamaica Psychological Society, then maybe we'll have like some names of some agencies, because I think there's an arrangement for them to give some amount of free service. There's Family Life Ministry that you can, yes, it's a pain. I can't tell you the government agencies. I'm more in line with the private sector. But I know that Family Life Ministry have a duty counselor for persons who maybe cannot pay, that they maybe can go and get some help.
I know too for family life. I know some companies, some companies have an arrangement with them where their staff can go in.
Right.
But I was really thinking of a poor person, you know, who can't afford.
Actually,
Okay, that is the employee assistance program where companies have in line with that. But if it's somebody who cannot pay and they call and they say they cannot pay or they maybe can make a contribution, then they have a service where they give free counseling each day to persons who cannot afford it.
I think also, that the Ministry of Health has that arrangement with maybe the Psychological Society. Because I think I know a counselor who works with one of the regions of the Ministry of Health who is part of that program, and she gives services via the ministry. So I think the Ministry of Health is an agency that would be able to help people in the same way that you might go to your local clinic. I think you could probably report to a local clinic and they would find help for you.
And if it is a student, if it's a university student, most universities have a counseling center that offers services to the students. And if it is somebody that is younger than the age group that we're targeting, then that maybe would be a connection with the Ministry of Education or the school who have a guidance counselor.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Hodges, and for those who have the questions. Does anyone else have one more question before we move on?
Yeah, does anybody else have any more questions? No?
All right, so it seems that everybody had all their questions answered.
Right, and everybody knowledgeable and all these wonderful things. Now, we are going to get into our trivia, and this is your chance to win some Flow and digital credit.
Woo!
Who doesn't want
to? So.
Oh, wait, before I get into that, for the digital credit, I'll be sending it to your phone. So all you have to do is private message me and let me have your number so I can send it to your phone, Yeah. All right. So let's get into our first question, Dominique.
Right. So firstly, thank you for our panelists for coming on and answering these questions and giving us some more information about mental health and how to cope. Just thank you for joining us in the first place. Right. So now on to, sorry, repeat. Did somebody say something?
He was saying no problem, basically. He was just saying
Oh, sorry. I wasn't here. My bad. All right. So now on to our first question. I hope from the beginning, right, persons were listening and all the things that we said. Okay, so this is the flow credit. That's 100 credits, right? Easy questions. Giveaway. Right, okay, so the first question is, what does Mental TLC stand for and what is our tagline? It's the first person that can answer and vocally or in the chat, and you have $100 credit easy. easy.
Who is that? Sade answered first.
Sade, I see Sade said talk, learn, care, but what is tagline? What is the full tagline?
Yeah.
What's the slogan? So okay, we have the TLC stands for talk, learn, care. Okay, the rest of it, man, Sade. Come on. Easy $100 credit, Does anybody else have the full answer that they want to just like both voice it or just type it in the chat real quick? No?
Mental TLC.
Right.
Yes, what is our tagline?
What is our tagline? So the first part of the question is, what does Mental TLC stand for? So that's TLC. And Sade said talk, learn, and care. So if Sade would just tell us the rest of the slogan, then she have $100. What? Talk to somebody, learn and skill. Okay, that's the C. Where's the C? Sean, where's the C? We have talked to someone, learn a new skill, and there we go. Care for your money. So I mean, I know you said it first, Shade, but I wanted the whole thing. So I'm just gonna have to give the credit to Sean. So thank you for listening, Sean and Shade, and for everybody and for everybody else. You will get your credit from me in a bit. Okay, so the next question. Right. So Julian had spoken about this, and we had spoken about this, and Miss Hodges had spoken about this as well. So, what are some ways you can care for your body? The first person to answer a next $100 credit easy.
Feel free to answer by a mic at the first
Yeah,
person.
you don't have to necessarily type. We want you guys to interact with us. Okay. So Julissa said exercise, meditate. Yeah. See, I tell you guys, these answers are easy. All you have to do is pay attention, you know. Okay, so that is for Julissa. Julissa said exercise and meditate. So Julissa just won herself $100 credit easy. All right, thank you for Sean and Julissa for participating so far. And I'm hand over to Marianne with a digital $100 credit.
Okay. So this is a true or false. Are the following good coping mechanisms? A, smoking 24/7. B, don't even let me finish. You're not listen.
Are all the following you said, but the first
I did
one.
not finish. B, alcohol abuse. C, sleeping all day.
I mean, okay,
So
Eric.
they answered that. So, Sean, you can't really like that, Sean.
Sean, I mean, you did get the $100. You know what? I'm not even.
Okay, so Shanae answered first, so she will get the $100 digital credit.
She answered before Sean.
Girl, Shanae. Next flow question for the credit.
Okay. All right. So this is a $200 flow credit, right? So here's the question. There's only one this time. What are some activities or skills you can learn during quarantine? Simple.
Whoever answers first, remember that's who gets the credit.
Can you talk via mic? I don't know. Is that fine?
Yeah, we encourage everyone to speak on their mic.
Okay.
Okay,
so you can pick up like knitting, like for example, you can learn how to cook. You can learn how to not everyone knows how to cook. You can pick up gardening like what I did. You can learn an instrument. Painting as well. Yes. And much more, you know. Many more.
I should on the ball tonight.
You want the credit, man. You want all the
Sean
credit,
is on the ball tonight. So that Sean just win himself 300 credit now, you know. 300 right, come on, everybody else. Make Sean to call the credit, so.
All right. Remember, say you can turn on your mic and answer, you know. Okay? All right. So, the digital $200 credit question is, why is it important to maintain connection? Why is it important to maintain social connection?
Oh, Salome wants to say something.
Who's speaking?
It's important to maintain connection because it's good for your mental health. And I can't think of another part. That's it. It's good for your mental health.
You spoke about it, why it's important for us to maintain connections. Should it say, man?
Come on, give it some more. Mr. Freitas
it's good. it's good for like keeping up to date with information.
Shanae and Mr. Freitas said it in the chat though.
No,
So
but
Mr. Freitas said we're social beings. I don't know if that's the answer we're looking for, but Shanae says, so we have somebody to vent to, because I know I said that earlier.
Shanae actually kind of close, you know. She close. And
yeah.
okay, so
I said that earlier.
Okay, so when you have somebody to vent to, what does that help you to do? Or
okay. To feel connected brings happiness, security. That's from Shade.
Right.
Hi. It's because my fan makes a lot of noise, so I didn't turn on my. But when I say someone to vent to, it's good to be able to let off, I guess you could say steam. Someone you can just relieve or release all, not release your stress on, but someone to just let it out. Someone who can like understand you too, not anyone you can go to and just talk with. It has to be somebody you're comfortable with. I don't know if that's the answer.
You're actually very close. You're like the closest. So, Shanae.
I feel like we can speak.
It's who that? Okay. Yes. That's the closest answer. Who's that? Fiona?
Fiona.
It can help to lower anxiety and depression. That is correct. That is correct. Because when you maintain connections with persons, it helps you to understand that you're not in this alone. And when you know that you're not in this alone and that you have someone that you can speak to, it lowers your anxiety and it lowers depression. Good job, Fiona.
Good job, Fiona. So okay, so I'm on to the flow $500 credit move. All right. So the question's been easy so far, they're not hard. Full of $500 credit. All right. Okay. So the flow $500 credit, easy. It says, what are the most common mental health challenges that young adults face? Easy question. Easy. Let me repeat it again. What are the most common mental health challenges that young adults face? And we're looking for 3, not 1, not 2, but we I even finish saying it. Not 1, not 2, but 3. So Shanae says depression, stress, anxiety. But the thing is that stress and anxiety tend to, be under the same umbrella, right? So we need one more. No, the sadness go under the depression. You see, you're just giving me 2. Come, we just need one more. I said this earlier, I said this early. So we just need one more. We just need 3 of them. So Shanae gave me depression and anxiety. One more, and somebody get that $500 credit like that. One more. Nobody else don't know? Really? We can't even guess? Nobody.
Shanae was actually the closest.
Yeah, she was the closest. She only gave me 2. I wanted somebody who was just like 3 of them, and it would be great. Okay. Sean said that's what he would have guessed as well. All right. Since Shanae is the only one that seems to be close to it, I guess we can give it to Shanae. But the answer that I was looking for, right? You have depression, anxiety, and then it would have been either self-harm or eating disorder. Sorry. So either eating disorder or self-harm would have been part of the three, right? So Shanae, you can get the credit, the $500 credit from me after this. You'll get it. So now Marianne, over to you with the last
It's hard. This one is hard. Now, but you don't have little piece of credit, man. You can't make Sean and Shanae be the only one to answer. Hello. All right. Now, if you follow our Instagram page, what? All right. So
this is college credit.
The 500 did sell. All right. So name 3 of the segments from our Instagram page. Again, name 3 of the segments that we feature on our Instagram page. Continue. It's free in a study.
Study answer 1. 3. We need that's 1. We need 3. And one more. One more you have, you know. What?
You have it in a study.
Fiona sports.
No. Again,
all you guys have to do is they can go on our Instagram page right now, you know, at Mental. You can easy to find. You know.
Saturday just one.
Okay, all right.
Okay, Saturday.
All right. Today on the ball.
Blog Saturdays and Inspirational Tuesday. Yay, Saturday.
Good job. Woo!
So the $500 credit will go to Saturday. Congratulations to all
everybody,
the
players. Everybody win something today. Right. She said her heart is pounding. Today killing me. Right. So this is the end of our trivia and everybody wants some credit tonight. You guys should get your credit tonight. We will send them to you because some of the persons on here will have their numbers and everything. So
right.
We will send you guys the credit. So I just wanna. Sorry, what did you say, Marianne?
I was saying
I'm glad you enjoyed it today. I'm glad you enjoyed it. It was fun for us to listen to the answers.
I'm glad you guys enjoyed it.
Right. So now we're just gonna close off. You know, thank you for everyone. Thank you for everyone who joined us tonight. You know, we hope it was really informative and that everyone learned about mental health and how ways to cope and the things that might cause mental health during this corona time. And hope our panelists were very insightful for everyone. You all learned something. And we just want to thank our sponsors, Choices Caribbean, for sponsoring this presentation. And you know, Live Well Jamaica, who allowed us to be able to do this as well. And we just want to leave with the notion that, you know, there's life during COVID. You know, everything is not, it's not just because Corona happening and it done. It's not just gonna happening and it done. You know, they're just, you know, stop thinking about all the doom and gloom of what might be going on at this point in time. But you know, as Miss Hodges says, you know, if you have a positive outlook, you have a positive action. You know, right? Marianne.
Yes, I was going to say, and I hope that you guys got a better understanding about the Mental TLC campaign and what it is that our goal is and what our message is. I hope you guys did get that. And thank you again to all of you that are here and to our panelists. You are so appreciated, you know, for sparing some of your time to be here. We're grateful.
Right. So thank you guys for joining us. And that is the end of our presentation.
Okay, guys. Have a wonderful night.
Night, everyone.
Goodbye.
Guys.
Bye, Sean.
Very good, guys. You can end the meeting when you're ready, okay?
Okay.
Oh, but you have it saved, Marianne? Remember to record it.
Oh, yeah.
So when you end the meeting, it starts